Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the man responsible for the deaths of 3 police officers and a K-9 deputy will never get his day in court after being found dead in his cell. And state lawmakers advance a couple of bills that deal technology involving cars and the ticket you could earn yourself if you're caught driving too fast.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Well, good morning to you. Today is Wednesday. It's almost 5 o'clock. I'm Dakota Makris. Let's head over to Brandon for a look at that forecast this morning, and he's back on TV this morning.
Welcome on TV. Yep, I was back working from home a little bit yesterday, but back in action this morning and just in time. We've got a lot to talk about in the next couple of days. But for today, again, not too bad this morning. Temperatures all over the place as you head out the door. 30s, 40s, and 50s. Warm spot this morning looks to be, I'm going to double check it before I say it. Yep, Wise and Logan at 54. And then the cool spot is 36 in Clintwood. So again, a lot of, and Jonesville, just notice Jonesville there too. So a lot of differences there this morning. A lot of 40s and 50s out there now. Temperatures some places like Jonesville, 20 degrees colder than it was 24 hours ago. And I can believe that. I was coming back from Cleveland there on Monday night. It was windy. I can tell you that for sure. 15 degrees cooler in Harlan this morning, 12 degrees cooler in Middlesboro, 10 degrees cooler in London this morning. It's actually 4 degrees warmer in Wise. Now, the good news is today, for the first day of March, you will have a fairly nice day. Now, tonight it'll be a different story. Clouds will increase late, but I think temperatures top out in the mid-70s. If we get to 77 today, we'll tie a record. The National Weather Service office at Jackson and the London Corbett Airport. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. Lance Storrs, the man accused of killing 3 officers and a K-9 deputy during the Allen ambush last year, will never see his day in court. Storrs was found dead in his cell at the Pike County Detention Center Tuesday morning. Officials saying he committed suicide. His death leaves those impacted by the tragic shooting with conflicting feelings.
So our opinions and reflections upon what we think or has happened, it's strictly for him, and we're in sorrow for his family as much as we are our own.
Floyd County's sheriff says many people were looking forward to facing Storrs in court, but for those who would rather not go through a lengthy trial, it could be seen as a blessing. 2 Whitley County men were sentenced to more than a decade in prison for their role in a drug trafficking case. A federal jury handed down the sentences recently for 33-year-old Anthony Anderson of Bethel Road and 45-year-old William Fields of Reynolds Hollow Road. Anderson will spend 250 months, or just more than 20 years, behind bars, while Fields was sentenced to 124 months, which is just more than 10 years in prison. Both were convicted of conspiracy to distribute more than 500 grams of meth or a substance containing meth, and 100 grams or more of a substance containing a mix of heroin or fentanyl. A detective with the Lexington Police Department was arrested Tuesday in Estill County. Lexington police say Detective Ryan Raker was arrested by Kentucky State Police troopers on a warrant from the Estill County Sheriff's Office. Raker was charged with second-degree child abuse and was taken to the Three Forks Regional Jail. He was placed on administrative leave from his role with the Lexington Police Department. A traffic stop turned violent for one Harlan County deputy last week. Police say 31-year-old Corey Ferguson was stopped while riding his bicycle on Sutton Drive in the Dayhoyt community. They say he ran off on foot into the mountains after being caught. He reportedly told police, quote, "You'll have to shoot me, and I'm not going back to jail," end quote. Ferguson ran from police 3 separate times before he was finally arrested. He was arrested on 3 separate warrants and is facing several charges. Well, roads are getting more dangerous for pedestrians in the United States. The Governor's Highway Safety Association reports 3,400 pedestrians were killed in the first half of last year. That's an average of 19 deaths every day and a 5% increase during the same period in 2021. A year that set a 40-year record for the fatalities. The association says pedestrian deaths on roads are up 60% in the last decade, even as overall road deaths have declined. Kentucky lawmakers advanced 2 bills yesterday that deal with technology to both drive cars and hand out speeding tickets. One, if approved, could land you a speeding ticket if a camera caught you speeding through a highway construction zone. Another deals with self-driving cars. Our Phil Pendleton has more.
Speeders through highway construction zones could get ticketed, not from what a police officer sees, but what's captured on a camera.
A fine to be issued through the transportation cabinet for $75. The monies collected from this fines would be used to, one, pay for the automated speed device. And this
bill is named for an Eastern Kentucky man killed in a highway construction zone crash in Tennessee.
When his parents contacted me, I sought out transportation as to what we could do to improve our work zones, if they had any suggestions or ideas of how we may make it safer for our highway workers to work.
Another bill sounds like it may be straight out of science fiction. Autonomous or really self-driving vehicles that operate with little to no human interaction. Lawmakers say this bill is needed so these types of vehicles can be traveling through our state.
The lane assist uses cameras to keep it in the lane. So
Representative Josh Bray is sponsoring a bill to set up regulation of autonomous or self-driving vehicles.
Provide for that ability of this state to start to achieve the benefits of autonomous vehicle technology, which includes improved safety, economic growth, mobility, and a number of other benefits.
But opponents question if such self-driving cars and trucks will cut jobs, and they say lack of a human factor in weather could be dangerous.
I know how that vehicle operates and feels in all different weather conditions, just like yesterday with all the high wind. Is it going to take in accommodation of tilting back and forth? Is it going to adjust its speed because of that wind gust that it just got?
Some also expressed concerns of insurance liability, but lawmakers say other states have handled all the concerns with their laws. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Both bills passed out of committee and head to the House floor. Well, thank you so much for getting your Wednesday started with the Sierra Mountain News this morning. Coming up, some rare and intense winter weather in California leads to tragedy after a house collapses under the weight of snow.
And the first day of meteorological spring looks pretty nice, but the nighttime hours, not so much. I'll track our rain and storm chances in about 3 minutes.